Hello, everyone. My name is Deanne Phillips. I'm on Facebook as Deanne Buckingham Phillips. I wanted to make a little video to welcome our new members. Every morning, I do something that I call Coffee with Jesus. That's where I drink coffee and I just am quiet and still and I listen. And usually the Holy Spirit / Jesus / God gives me some information that I need. So this morning he said, make a welcome video to the new members of the prayer room. So here I am. It's one of the many things that he's had me do that has put me out of my comfort zone. As you can tell, I'm not a young chick, but I have done many things in my career. I was a consultant to some of the largest companies in the country. I was in the movie industry briefly. I was a corporate executive for a large company for a while. And none of these things were things that I pursued. God just opened the door, and even when I was petrified, I would just step through that door. You never know what God is up to. For example, I do the nightly prayers for the prayer room. I write them, and there's a lot of heartbreaking things, frankly, in there. But it's so easy to think, oh man, this is something terrible, and to shake our faith to the core sometimes. But I'm going to give you a couple of examples that might make you think that way. It might change the way you think about that. First of all, I have multiple sclerosis. And when I got it, I didn't sit around, because I'm not that kind of person. I didn't sit around and go, why me? Why me? But I did wonder what was God up to. And when you have multiple sclerosis, you have to have an MRI of the brain regularly. So early on, I think it was the second one I had, and I was diagnosed about 20 years ago, or more than that now. Anyway, so when they did the MRI, the X-ray technician looked at it and said, he put it on the report that I had a brain aneurysm. Now, I had not been having any headaches. I had absolutely no sign that I had that. I went to see a neurosurgeon, and a couple days later, he took care of it. I had some brain surgery. And when it was over, he said, you know, that aneurysm, he said it was 3 times larger than when I first saw it a few days ago. So if I hadn't been diagnosed with MS, I wouldn't have had the MRI. And who knows, I might not be here making this video. I guess God had some other plans. Kind of like the prayer room. Oh, wait, I'm jumping around. The second thing that I was going to tell you that might make your perspective on bad things that happen to us, or what we think are bad, is, I always say that all the people who were at the foot of the cross are looking at Jesus on the cross. Surely they had to say, nothing good can come of this. So I always think about that, and I think, his ways are not our ways. So we don't know what he's up to, but it is very important to pray. So we continually will do that. But I want to encourage you to have faith. And then I was also going to tell you about the prayer room. During the quarantine last March of 2020, I started watching the TV series The Chosen, as many of you have, but not everyone has seen it. Frankly, I was like, okay, I'm running out of things to watch on TV. What do I do with myself? Because I've always been very busy, a very busy person. I love to have a list and like check everything off the list. I started watching the Chosen because, frankly, kind of out of desperation, and because being in the movie industry, I am a little bit snobbish when it comes to different programs, and we probably have all seen a sincere but lame Bible movie or TV show in the past. And so my confidence level was pretty low. But I started watching it and I was so enthralled with it. I ended up staying up all night watching the thing. I just binged right through the night, which when you have MS, you don't do that, but I did. So afterwards, I thought, that guy who played Jesus, he did a really good job. I wonder what else he's been in. I wonder about this guy. So I went to the first place you go to these days when you're going to investigate someone. I went to Facebook. So when I got to Facebook, I noticed not only did he have a Facebook page, but he was on there live leading a prayer hour. So I started following along, but then I thought, well, wait a minute. Is this guy like a friend of the guy who made The Chosen or something? And he has his church and he just happens to be very talented. So I went to IMDb, which is the Internet Movie Database, and looked him up. And lo and behold, he had a SAG card, a Screen Actors Guild card. He'd been on like an episode of Chicago Med and some other things. And I thought, well, this guy's the real thing. So I went back to his prayer hour and I learned that he also lived in Los Angeles. And I thought, well, there you go. I mean, he's not just somebody's church member, he's the real deal. Well, I started following this prayer hour. He did it, I think, 40 days in a row. His name, by the way, is Jonathan Roumie, and it's Roumie, and that's where the prayer room name came from. Because I noticed by the end of the time, there usually would be right at 400 people praying together of all denominations, and they were from all over the world. And I thought, well, how often do you see that? People of all denominations all over the world praying together. And I thought that was so cool. So when the quarantine was over in Los Angeles and he had to go back to work, I thought, well, I hate to see this just slip away. Maybe if I start this prayer room and I spell it ROUM, some of the people who went to his prayer hour might recognize that, and maybe I'll get like 50 people to pray with me. Well, as you well know, the Holy Spirit had something else in mind, apparently, because the prayer room now has thousands of people. And I just want you to know that I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm one of thousands. I mean, you are very special to the Lord. The Holy Spirit brought you here. Jonathan Roumie didn't handpick you. Dallas Jenkins didn't handpick you. I didn't handpick you. The Holy Spirit brought you here. And so you belong here. You belong with us. So welcome. And just to tell you a few quick things, if you want to do a prayer request, we normally have a photo every evening Central Time. I know you're all over the world, but I live in the Central Time zone. And if you'll put your prayer request in this specific photo in the comments, I will add it into the nightly prayer that I write and that we publish, and people all over the world will pray for you. The other thing is, like any group, I've always said a group is only as good as its rules and administrator. So I'm not going to go down a boring list of rules, but I just want to say there are a few main things. One is we don't take any political comments. We're here to worship a king, not a candidate or government, or promote or hinder a political issue. And the second thing is, the prayer room is a safe and serene place to pray alone or with others. And so we're a drama-free zone. And I just can't have anybody being unkind or underhanded or untruthful. And there's a lot of people in here. I have a lot of other things I do. I also do a radio show. That's another story. But anyway, so I don't see every single thing. I try. I do have some things set where Facebook will alert me if something might be wrong. But I just want you to know that I'm here because I want you to be able to pray. And I want it to be safe and serene. The last thing I want to say, and this is what the other thing that came out of my coffee with Jesus this morning, sometimes when we have problems, we're used to, I'm used to making a list, making a plan, executing the plan and solving the problem. And of course, we're not in control of everything. I think 2020 was a great example of that. But it's something where, God doesn't solve problems the way we do. I think when Jesus was saying, give us this day our daily bread, I think of that not just our food, but our daily protection, our daily provision, our daily problem solving. And I know it's a struggle. I'm used to a sweeping solution, but I'm not sure God often does sweeping solutions. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe it's because he wants us to grow. But I think we need to rethink, especially we Americans, we need to rethink about how we think of God answering our prayers. I know just this week I've had some things that I truly have been praying for the last 20 years. And now they're starting to slowly be taken care of. So we need to realize that the King of the universe, the creator of the universe, obviously he's not human. So it would be arrogant of me to think, well, I know better than you do, God. I know better. I can fix this better. No, I can't. And so I'm trying to be patient, and I want to encourage you to be patient too. Anyway, that's all from today, from my coffee with Jesus and my welcome message. And one last thing, we have an email address, theprayerroom@gmail.com. Don't forget to spell room with a U. And if you have any problems or whatever, feel free to reach out. So signing off for now. So good that you found us. God bless.